Hello and welcome to Sports Fan Entertainment as we have a new NBA champion. The Toronto Raptors defeat the Golden State Warriors 114 to 110. The Toronto Raptors, our first time NBA champions. Dreams can come true. What did Kevin Garnett say again when he won the NBA championship? Anything is possible. And that is true tonight as Toronto, Ontario, Canada is partying it up, and deservedly so. They defeat the Golden State Warriors tonight. They get it done 114 to 110. And what a game we saw tonight. Yet another drama-filled game, and these NBA Finals have been littered with plenty of drama from start to finish. We had the Kevin Durant coming back, him getting injured, Warriors being down 3-1. Could they potentially come back and then reverse what happened to them only about 3 years ago when they faced the Cleveland Cavaliers and they lost a 3-1 lead? And then Klay Thompson getting injured in Game 3, and then Klay Thompson getting injured in this game in the third quarter. Kawhi Leonard, his upcoming free agency, the upcoming free agency for Kevin Durant. This has been a drama-filled NBA Finals. I tweeted right before Game 1 of these NBA Finals, I think actually it was in the first quarter, I said, how nice is it to once again have a competitive NBA Finals? And I had some people replying to me saying, what are you talking about? This is not going to be competitive. The Warriors will easily beat the Toronto Raptors. And I'm like, hold on, people. This is going to be a true series. And I had the Warriors winning this series in 6 games. But I even said when making that prediction that I think it's more likely to be 7 than 5 games, and that it's going to be a close 6 games. I had the Raptors going up 2-1 and then the Warriors winning the last 3 to win the series, but I knew and I truly believed that we were going to see a competitive series here. The Raptors are not the team that they were during the regular season. They're not the team they were in the first round or the second round of these playoffs. They've continuously improved. You know, the Raptors, to me, although I had them beating the Bucks prior to the playoffs, seeing the Raptors really struggle against the Philadelphia 76ers, I thought there was no chance they were going to defeat the Milwaukee Bucks, especially after the Milwaukee Bucks beat the Boston Celtics in 5 games. But after the Raptors won that series in the fashion that they did, winning 4 straight games against the Milwaukee Bucks, they proved to be a team to be reckoned with. And after seeing that, I knew this was going to be a hell of a series, but I assumed the health of Kevin Durant and I assumed the health of Klay Thompson, and I don't want to take anything away from this Toronto Raptors championship. It is a legitimate championship. I'm not someone that likes to say that, you know, championships deserve asterisks or whatever, because the fact of the matter is the Raptors earned their spot here. They defeated the Milwaukee Bucks, they defeated the Philadelphia 76ers, and they ultimately defeated this team, the Golden State Warriors. However, yes, if Kevin Durant is healthy in this series, if Klay Thompson doesn't miss Game 3, and if he's playing in Game 4, I think we have a different series. I think we probably see the Warriors up and maybe even winning the NBA championship tonight, but at least a tied series heading into Game 7. But that's not the case. The case is the Raptors were a healthy team, surprisingly, right? Despite only playing 7 players, those 7 players were healthy throughout the entire series. They remained healthy throughout the entire series. Their load management of Kawhi Leonard throughout the regular season, right? Remember, Kawhi Leonard missed so many games during the regular season. Load management, a lot of people question that. Well, guess what? He was healthy throughout these playoffs. He was healthy throughout these finals. And ultimately, he is, I haven't checked yet, but I'm assuming already he is the finals MVP. And he has ultimately been the catalyst for a change here in Toronto. Danny Green helped out, although today he did absolutely nothing. I mean, you could have replaced me out there for Danny Green tonight. The only thing Danny Green did, which actually might have been the most impactful thing in the game, now that you think about it, was injure Klay Thompson. So never mind, Danny Green did do something, because ultimately he did injure Klay Thompson, and that was to me, that was the turning point in the game. Right at that point, I want to say Golden State was up by 3. Klay Thompson hits both free throws, puts them up by 5. And then the Raptors end up winning this game by 4 points. I don't think that swing happens. I thought the Warriors were going to win this game and then get crushed in Game 7. I thought they were going to get crushed in Game 7. Finally, Klay and Steph would have a cold night, and that'd be it. It'd be a wrap in Toronto, and that'd be it. So Ultimately, the injuries were a factor. It does hurt, but I just don't want to be disrespectful to Toronto Raptor fans. If I was a Raptor fan, I'd just be happy. I'm a big Laker fan in the NBA, so I'm someone that is like more critical of wanting to have, true championships in which we really felt like we were the best team. But in the NFL, I'm a Tennessee Titan fan, and I don't care what kind of Super Bowl we win. If the Titans win a Super Bowl where we face a Tom Brady-less New England Patriots team, and we face the Los Angeles Rams without Jared Goff, and we win, I'll say, yay, we won. Right? I'm not going to care. You guys can say it's a fake Super Bowl. It's the lamest Super Bowl victory ever. You guys are the worst Super Bowl team ever. You can say that. I won't care. I'll say we're Super Bowl champions. As a Laker fan, I won't love that. I want to truly be one of the best teams and truly have a historically great team. But as a Tennessee Titans fan in the NFL, I don't care. So as a Toronto Raptors fan, I'm sure Raptors fans don't care. But it is something to say. It is a true and legitimate thing that, the Warriors were not at full strength in this series, and you guys were. And that, I think ultimately was the difference here. But you guys did build a great team. Masai Ujiri, bringing in Danny Green, bringing in Marc Gasol. And, in retrospect, I think they could have honestly kept Jonas Valanciunas because Jonas Valanciunas was very good for the Memphis Grizzlies. I think Jonas Valanciunas would have been better for you than Marc Gasol was. Danny Green was so up and down, it's hard to say. And I can't remember who the other components were for that trade. I can't remember who the other components were for that trade. But in retrospect, I'm not even sure if you guys needed to do that trade, but regardless, you got in definitely veteran presence, right? So Marc Gasol provided some nice veteran presence for you, and he was huge in moments in these playoffs, and ultimately, it resulted in a victory for the Toronto Raptors. So, wow, again, congratulations to the Toronto Raptors for this victory. And Kyle Lowry was huge tonight. He finally got some respect on his name. He ultimately, I would say, was the number 2 player for the Toronto Raptors in this series. It's very close between he and Pascal Siakam. Instead of it being a Batman and Robin situation, I'll say it was a Batman, Robin, and Batgirl situation in this series where probably Pascal Siakam, sorry, you're Batgirl in this scenario, but you did very well. How about we could say it's a Justice League? I like the Justice League Trinity where you have Kawhi Leonard, Superman, you have Pascal Siakam, or you have let's say you have Kyle Lowry, Batman, and you have Pascal Siakam, Wonder Woman. Okay, so I'll give you that distinction. You could be Wonder Woman instead of Batgirl, but he was third, but a nice third. As Pascal Siakam, I want to say he averaged 20 points in this series, at least 19. He averaged 18.6 heading into this game, had, I want to say, 22 or 23 points tonight. So that puts him at about 19, 20 points per game in this series. Kyle Lowry had about the same thing, and he shot very well. He picked his spots, and today in the first half, he was fantastic. Got Toronto out to their early lead. Was quiet in the second half, but then had a huge shot in the fourth quarter, which, again, ended up being a huge part of this victory because without those 2 points, instead Golden State is up with the ball. They have to foul Stephen Curry. Stephen Curry goes to the line. He makes 2. The Raptors have to, score a 3. So that changes things right there. So Kyle Lowry was huge. Pascal Siakam is huge. And Siakam, I'm not sure if he's in his second or third year, but we know he's probably going to be the most improved player of the year. And he's the face of the franchise. If Kawhi Leonard leaves, which we'll see. And actually, let's get into that conversation. We're going to be here a little longer since this is truly the end of the NBA Finals to really discuss a lot of the things that are going to be the case moving forward. And I'll probably even come back maybe even tomorrow, make a video on a lot of these topics because there's just so much to discuss. The NBA season is now over. But Pascal Siakam, yeah, he's going to be the face of this team moving forward. I don't know if he's good enough. He's definitely not good enough to win an NBA championship. I mean, I think we'd all agree on that alone. But I think it'll be interesting. I'm excited to see where his career goes. And Fred VanVleet. How about Fred VanVleet, who was absolutely silent and absent in the previous series against the Milwaukee Bucks, showing up consistently in this game, in this series, 22 points tonight. And he's such a funny player to watch. He's a guy that makes the most difficult shots you'll ever see. Right? He'll make these difficult threes, these difficult layups. You don't think they're going in. They go in. He gets fouled, whatever. He's fantastic. And then he'll miss wide open shots. It's hilarious, but that's what he does. He was huge tonight. Ibaka, yet again, was impactful with 15 points. And again, the length of Toronto was big. Marc Gasol and Danny Green didn't do much. They were really quiet today. Danny Green, zeros. Zeros really across the board. I don't know what was really going on with Danny Green in this game, except for, again, fouling Klay Thompson, which, again, really ended up being the difference. I'll pull up the box score real quick. But, yeah, we'll see. And someone in the chat said D'Angelo Russell will probably win Most Improved Player, and I actually that's true. We'll see though, because I've seen a lot of the bloggers that are eventually going to vote in this, saying that they're going to vote for Pascal Siakam. So it just depends on who they want. I would agree with you that it should be D'Angelo Russell, but again, it just depends on whoever the hell they vote for. So we'll see about that. So as for the Golden State Warriors, this is the end of an era, most likely. Okay, I do want to say that very clearly. This is most likely the end of an era, but I'm not going all in on that yet. The thing is, okay, even though I have it, look at it, it's scrolling by right now, Golden State Dynasty comes to an end. I'm saying that most likely, but the thing is, do not doubt these people. Do not doubt Bob Myers and this Golden State front office. They are aggressive. They know what needs to be done. They will not rest on their laurels. Kevin Durant is gone, right? He will not be there next season. It doesn't sound like he's going to pick up his player option, so he's gone, right? Even if he comes back, he's gone. They're going to get somebody. Right now, I can't tell you who. They could bring back DeMarcus Cousins again. Harrison Barnes is available. Now, I'm not sure if Harrison Barnes is going to sign because I think the Warriors will only have room for a mid-level exception. So I don't think he's going to sign for that. But we'll see. And Sean Livingston is going to retire. He's coming off the books, so they're going to have some cap room there. Look out. I'm looking out for Harrison Barnes. I'm not sure if Rudy Gay is a free agent, but I'm looking out for Rudy Gay. Remember the Warriors were rumored to have interest in Dirk Nowitzki. Now, Nowitzki's retired, but that just goes to show they're going to go after people. And they're going to have money, some money, not a lot, but money to get some people. There's going to be a replacement for KD. Now, he's not going to be at KD's level, probably won't even be close to KD's level. But someone's going to enter this Golden State team, and as is, with just Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green, as is, this is the number one team in the Western Conference next season, right now. Okay, now, if the Lakers go trade for Anthony Davis and they sign Kemba Walker, we'll have a different conversation. If the Denver Nuggets, who have cap room, I believe, and they definitely have this. They definitely have a young team, an improving team. If they can sign a couple veterans that can come in and add to their current team and current makeup, they would ascend. Portland Trailblazers don't have money, but maybe they make a trade or something. But the West is still kind of weak in terms of true title contenders. Like, even if the Nuggets, I grant you this, the Nuggets will probably have, do the Nuggets have a better regular season than the Golden State Warriors this season? I can't remember that. I think they did, right? Didn't the Nuggets have a better regular season record? I can't remember. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe not. Maybe not, actually. I don't think they did. Yeah, they did. They did. Sorry. The Warriors were number one seed. But Nuggets were close. They were close. So, Nuggets will probably be better regular season than the Warriors next season. I grant you that. But if they meet in the Western Conference Finals, who you have in that series, bro? Because after seeing how easy the Warriors handled the Portland Trailblazers without Kevin Durant, I think they'll still be able to handle the Denver Nuggets as long as they can find an answer for Nikola Jokic, right? So they're going to have to get someone lengthy. Maybe they re-sign JaVale McGee or something. But that's an interesting conversation. But let's stick to this game for now before we get into that conversation. In terms of this game, you guys know I've been a big defender of Stephen Curry, right? I've been Mr. Stephen Curry. I've been, all about defending Stephen Curry. But he choked in the fourth quarter of this basketball game. I don't have the numbers in front of me right now, but I'll tell you this. I believe he must win at least like 1 of 5. I remember one shot he made. It was like a little mid-range runner, and that was it. He missed that 3 at the end. That would have been a go-ahead field goal, making him now 0 of 8 with 20 seconds or left for go-ahead field goals in the playoffs and playoff in his career history. And he did not show up. He just point blank did not show up. He's just not a clutch player. And I don't think that takes away from him as a player too much. I still think he's incredibly viable. I still think he deserved the 2 MVPs that he got. I still think he's a top 5 player in this league. He's behind LeBron. He's behind Kawhi. He's behind Kevin Durant. And then to me, he's there. And you can put, and then Giannis. And then he's behind Giannis. And then to me, it's him. I put him over James Harden because James Harden is a bigger choker than he is. Okay, let's not forget about who's been defeating James Harden. It's Stephen Curry. So don't talk to me about no James Harden over no damn Stephen Curry. Anthony Davis hasn't been doing nothing in the playoffs. So I don't want to hear about Anthony Davis. And those are all the candidates, right? So, yes, Stephen Curry is a top 5 player, but he's number 5. He's behind Giannis, LeBron, Kawhi, and KD. And, he had the opportunity to ascend. If he could have just won this game, and this series was over when Klay Thompson went down. There was no way in hell to me that Golden State was going to be able to win Game 7 without Klay Thompson. There was no way. I didn't think they were going to win the game anyway. Right? I had Golden State winning tonight and then losing Game 7. I thought that was the destiny regardless. And I thought Game 7 was going to be close no matter what happened. But with Klay Thompson going down, yeah, no way. But at least win this last game in Oracle. At least send your fans home happy. At least show up for this one moment, for this one quarter without Klay Thompson. And make that last go-ahead shot, and he failed miserably. And it's a shame because I wanted to continue to defend him. I think people hate on him too much because he's that nice, pretty boy, and people don't understand why he's so talented at basketball. And I think that's just spiteful and ridiculous. But he choked. He failed to show up, and it's a shame. But again, he's going to have to come back, and I think he's going to come back with a vengeance next season. So I'm still looking out for the Warriors, man. But he's going to have to prove himself in these moments, man. This is now another NBA Finals. Another NBA Finals that he has lost. Giving me now 2 NBA Finals, and both of which I look at and I said he could have played better. And he should have played better in these bigger moments, right? And that's just a shame. That's just a big shame on him. And, he needs Klay out there. I understand. But for this one quarter, I thought he should have brought it home. And he had the opportunity to do so. If he makes that, that's it. It's game. And he failed. And that's a shame there. But anyway, outside of him, Klay Thompson goes down. And it was an unfortunate play. I don't think it was dirty on Danny Green's part. But, just a really unfortunate injury for Klay Thompson, the guy that's been so durable. And it looked like an MCL sprain to me. So I was not expecting Klay Thompson to come back. I was not expecting him to come back in Game 7 either. I thought he was done for the rest of the playoffs right then and there. And I thought Golden State was done as a team as well. And I think you'll read tomorrow that he has some sort of MCL sprain. I don't know what grade it'll be. Grade probably 2 or 3 from what I was seeing. But we'll see. So Klay Thompson, he's done. And, this is unfortunately what happens. This is why it's so hard and why no one since like the 80s has won 4 out of the 5 years. It's just so hard to go so deep into the playoffs every year. Go into June every year, and yes, you're young and you're spry. Draymond's young, and Steph is young, and Klay Thompson's young, but they're getting a little older now. They're pushing 30. Okay, in fact, I think Stephen Curry was drafted, 2009? So, yeah, he should be over 30 at this point. And Klay Thompson was drafted like 2012. So he still, has some years on it. But, they're starting to push it a little bit. So continuously getting to June and June and June and June, it's wearing on them. And ultimately, Klay Thompson, who's been Mr. Ironman, he got hurt. I'm surprised Steph Curry, his durability has actually improved as he's gone into his NBA career. That's interesting. But, even he, he was, he suffered like a little hip, hurt in this game. His hurt was like damaged a little bit in this game on one play, on one screen by Marc Gasol. So this is why it's hard. But hey, you won 3 out of 4 years, right? That's still going down the record books, and it's still the greatest dynasty of this decade. I think it's a better dynasty than the Miami Heat little run that they had. I think it's better. But, it's ultimately ending most likely. Again, because right now, I'll tell you this, Vegas has the Warriors as the best odds of the Western Conference. And I think deservedly so. Until the Lakers get Anthony Davis, and then I have to see who they get next to Anthony Davis, right? I'm a Laker fan, and I'm telling you, LeBron Anthony Davis is great, but everyone else on the team, right after you trade Kuzma, assuming that they trade Kuzma, Brandon Ingram, Lonzo Ball, all you're going to have is Anthony Davis, LeBron James, and Josh Hart. Your starting point guard is going to be Isaac Bonga. That's going to be your starting point. I'm not kidding. It's going to be Isaac Bonga, and Mo Wagner is going to be your center. Okay, this is not a power forward, and Anthony Davis is center or something. That's your best shot. So it's going to be interesting. We have a lot in front of us, and it's going to be very interesting. We're going to move back now to Toronto. Let's discuss now the future of things, moving on beyond this game now. So Kawhi Leonard, and look, I don't know what he wants. All I know is what I hear, which what we all read on Twitter, the tea leaves, what we watch on ESPN, NBA, whatever programming that you watch. And it sounds like he just doesn't want to stay in Toronto. That's what it sounds like. I mean, it sounded like even if they won this series, he was likely to leave. And I don't know why. I don't know what he wants. I will agree with him. I don't think this is not a roster that's built to win for many years right now. Marc Gasol is going to retire soon. Plus, he's decaying anyway. Danny Green, same thing. Plus, he's an upcoming free agent. Kyle Lowry, also decaying. He only averaged like 14 points per game in the regular season. He was big in the playoffs, big in these finals. Only like 14 points per game. Now, your running mate is Pascal Siakam, who's going to continue to improve. I think he's going to be a 20-point-per-game guy soon, maybe even next year, assuming, especially if Kawhi leaves. So I love Pascal Siakam moving forward. I think he's a nice running mate. Still a little too volatile for my liking, but I think he's a good number 2. If I'm Kawhi, I stay in Toronto because although yes, Lowry's about I'm even though he's great in these finals, I don't trust Kyle Lowry. Marc Gasol, he's done, and Danny Green's a free agent and he's getting old anyway. I trust this Raptors front office to surround me with some more talent. They have OG Anunoby, who I thought should have played in this series, but he came back off injury. They just didn't trust him to put in the lineup, and that's fine. OG Anunoby is a good young player in this league. Good lanky defender. Very similar to Kawhi Leonard, actually. A very poor man's Kawhi Leonard off the bench. He's a young, improving player that's going to get better. Fred VanVleet, right? He's on your team. He's young as well. He's going to continue to get better as well, and I think he's still contracted for your team next year. Ibaka is getting older, but I think he's going to stick around. I don't think he's going to go anywhere. I think he really likes Toronto right now from everything that I've heard, and I've seen, he has his Toronto show and everything. I would trust Masai Ujiri to, if I'm Masai Ujiri, I'm trying to move Kyle Lowry. Hey, you wanted something. Thank you, bro. I love you, man. Let's do Kyle Lowry for Mike Conley. Like, that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to do Kyle Lowry for Mike Conley. And would the Grizzlies want to do that? Probably not. But, I'm just throwing something out there. I'm just trying to get Kyle Lowry out of there for, like, a younger player that can play next to Kawhi Leonard. Because you're going to need a third piece. And Kyle Lowry is just not going to be it for me. Maybe one more year. Because, again, he was really good in these finals, but at this regular season, he just wasn't that good. And especially with Fred VanVleet playing as well as he did in these finals, I'm not that attached to Kyle Lowry. I'm trying to move him and get someone else, someone that can grow with Kawhi. And I would do that if I was Kawhi Leonard, because I think Kawhi Leonard can still do a lot of things in the Eastern Conference. But instead, it sounds like he wants to go to the LA Clippers. I don't get it. Because what do the Clippers have? Like, the Clippers have good players. Don't get me wrong. They have good players, but none of them are long-term fixtures and pieces for a championship team. We believe. Now, we did believe that about Toronto as well. And Toronto got to the NBA Finals and won this year. I'll give you that. But at least Toronto had been getting to the playoffs consistently. They had gotten to a conference finals. They had gotten to multiple conference semifinals against LeBron James. Now they had gotten swept, but they had shown you that they're a playoff team. The Clippers show you they're a playoff team this year, and that's it. Montrezl Harrell is not a long-term guy that I'm really excited to play next to. Neither is Danilo Gallinari. Like, he's a good player, but I'm not really excited to play with Danilo Gallinari. Patrick Beverley's an upcoming free agent. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, yeah, he's a cute player, but I don't think he's going to be, he's not a scorer, not a great scorer anyway. He's not really going to be he's a nice piece, don't get me wrong, but really? Just Shai Gilgeous, Danilo Gallinari, and Lou Williams? I mean, it's very similar to this Raptors team, but worse to me, because Siakam's better alone. Pascal Siakam's better than anyone on the LA Clippers. Better than Danilo Gallinari to me. I know Gallinari's a better scorer, but that's it. Gallinari can't defend like Pascal Siakam can defend. It doesn't have the upside because Pascal Siakam still has a lot of upside. He still doesn't have a consistent pull-up mid-range jumper, pull-up three-pointer. His catch and shoot three is inconsistent, but you saw how hot it can be tonight. So to me, I'm trying to take advantage of this, of Toronto and their ability to build a team. The Clippers, I think if he goes to the Clippers, I think they'll be fine. Don't get me wrong. I think they'll be title contenders. And I think, yeah, if you put Kawhi on that team right now, yeah, I do think they're like the third best team in the West, behind the Nuggets and the Warriors. But they're behind the Nuggets and the Warriors, and maybe Kawhi can, then lead them just as he led the Spurs and just as he led the Raptors to an NBA championship. But I just think he's likely to do it in Toronto. I just trust Toronto right now. Toronto needed DeMar DeRozan out of there. They needed Jonas Valanciunas out of there. They needed someone to take them, and now you have that. And now you have the championship pedigree. It's hard to win that first title. It is. Kawhi Leonard, I know you've been winning championships pretty easily. I mean, relatively easily. Right? You won one when you were 22 years old. You won another one now, and you're like 29 or something. But it's hard, bro. Going to another team, winning another championship for the first time in however long. I don't think the Clippers even won a championship. That's a hard thing to do, right? You've broken that wall. You popped that proverbial cherry in Toronto. Now let's suck that juice, Like you popped the cherry, let's suck that juice. I don't get what he wants, but Kawhi. He's a little off beat. He's a little off center. He's going to do whatever he wants to do. But then why not just go to the Lakers, right? You don't want a team with LeBron, but dude, I'll tell you right now, the Kawhi Leonard we saw in these finals, if you pair him with LeBron, everyone's going to say, Kawhi Leonard is better than LeBron. Like, Kawhi Leonard's more impactful defensively. Kawhi Leonard's going to always get his shot consistently, whatever. To me, I would go team up with, I'm a Laker fan, but you can go team up with LeBron and we're going to give you credit. Don't worry, we're going to give you credit because LeBron's going to retire pretty soon within the next 4 years, and you're clearly going to be that number one guy. I think that's a better option. And we have to see what happens where Kyrie goes and everything. But I would stay in Toronto if I was him. We'll see. I'll go on Twitter after this. I'm not on Twitter right now. I'll go on Twitter after this and read the tea leaves. And we'll listen to Brian Windhorst tomorrow as he eats potato chips and he tells us what's going to go on. But if he leaves, what an interesting swan song. A one-year wonder and a great wonder for Toronto. He's a legend. He's a hero. He's the prince who was promised. He came to Toronto for 1 year, and he delivered a championship. Truly amazing stuff, man. Truly incredible stuff. You can't write stuff like this in a script, and then he's going to leave. It's just so odd to me. And again, I also read a report he might sign like a short-term deal and then leave. But, with his injury history, dude, just secure the bag, secure the money. I would just keep the money. He could eat free in so many Toronto restaurants. Like, I know Toronto, I don't want to say it sucks. I think it's actually a pretty good city, but I know it's no LA. I know it's no LA or something, but, dude, just make your money. And then NBA, look, y'all NBA players are so spoiled. Y'all make money playing basketball for 15 years, right? The great ones I'm talking about. Then you get to retire forever. You get to retire for 45, 50, 55, 60 years. You can go live wherever you want. You can go live in Italy, Timbuktu, Morocco, Madagascar. You can do whatever you want. Why can't you just deal with 4 years in Toronto? What's so bad about playing basketball? For a championship contender, what's so wrong with that? What's the problem with that? Why can't you just go to no stupid Toronto? You're gonna retire. You're gonna do whatever you want for 40 years after you're done playing basketball. Why can't you just play for no stupid Toronto title contender? I mean, I don't understand these NBA players. I don't get it. But I don't know. I just do your time. It's not bad. You're eating, dude. I know how much I love food. Am I alone here? I love food. Can you imagine? You can just walk down the streets of your home city and you can just walk into restaurants and eat there for free forever. You can bring in your friends, have a party, get bottles for free. I mean, that's food is like, I don't know how much, at least 10% of my income, all right? At least of my spending, of my budget. So I don't know, but that's what he wants to do. So we'll see. I'll probably make a video on this tomorrow as we read more tea leaves because it's a very interesting topic and probably just previewing NBA free agency also. I definitely would do that as well. But yeah, it's very interesting. And what else for Toronto? Yeah, we'll see. So for me, for Toronto, and we'll talk about this a lot in the video. But if he leaves, okay, we were building around Pascal Siakam for sure. I still want to move Kyle Lowry. Like, I no offense to Kyle Lowry. Look, it was great. You won us a title, but I think you got to move him sooner rather than later because his value is going down. His regular season was not impressive. He's no longer even a top 10 point guard in this league. You got to move Kyle Lowry. You just got to move Kyle Lowry. So I don't know who's going to take him. I think the Lakers might take him if they get desperate. You can maybe get Kyle Kuzma for Kyle Lowry. I would take a Kuzma and Kyle Lowry mix or something like that. Who else would probably want Kyle Lowry? Ooh, who's that stupid team? The Phoenix Suns. They're looking for a point guard, but let me think. Who would you even want from the Phoenix Suns? I mean, they're not going to trade Booker or Ayton, so I mean, maybe you just get some good players. Maybe you get like, no, that wouldn't be a fair trade. I was going to say like Josh Jackson's in trouble, so definitely not Josh Jackson. I was going to say maybe like, who's that guy? Kelly Oubre and someone, but no, that wouldn't be a fair trade. The Bulls are looking for a point guard. Maybe you can swipe Zach LaVine off of them because apparently they're not in love with Zach LaVine anymore. Will they do Kyle Lowry for Zach LaVine? I would just look around. I'm very grateful for Kyle Lowry and the championship he provided to Toronto, but for building this team in the future, I just don't understand why. Like Kyle Lowry would be so important. I just don't believe that. So Pascal Siakam should definitely be the main guy, but you're gonna have to find that new number one guy. And I don't know where you're gonna get one. It's hard. Maybe you would tank for a year or two, but with this lottery, who knows anymore? Is taking even worth it? So it'd be very interesting. We'll cross that bridge when we get there, but that's just something to think about. And then again for the Golden State Warriors, it's a shame you lost this series. And yeah, I think a big mistake for Golden State was re-signing Shaun Livingston a couple years ago. Yes, he was integral to those championship teams, but I thought you could have got more bench players for cheap than Shaun Livingston, who I think is getting paid over $10 million a year. I thought that was wasted money. You guys could have easily signed Lou Williams. Lou Williams is not going to get paid that much. Lou Williams could have been a Golden State. Can you imagine Lou Williams? I also thought you guys could have used Nick Young. I thought Nick Young would have been a nice player on this Golden State Warriors team. They're looking at Quinn Cook like he's a big-time shooter, and he definitely can be, but Nick Young is just as much of a scorer as Quinn Cook. I thought Nick Young was missing these NBA Finals. Reinforce your bench, right? Your bench isn't that bad, but Alfonso McKinney, he pretty much stinks. Like, yeah, he's lengthy, he can make the occasional corner three, but he stinks. Jonas Jerebko definitely stinks. Reinforce your bench, and if KD leaves, just get some scorer small forward to come in there. A Rudy Gay type, a Harrison Barnes type, a Wilson Chandler. He's available. Look out for Wilson Chandler. Warriors also miss David West. They need to get some more of those guys into the fold in Golden State. Try to expand Kevon Looney in his role, make him more of a scorer, and the Golden State Warriors will be right back as a title contender as long as they're healthy. But again, as they keep going into June, I think injuries will continue to be a concern for this team, and it's definitely something to look out for. So real quick, it's the end of the NBA Finals. I'll look into the chat to see if there's anything really important to say here. Alejandro Montenegro says, you really think Warriors are a better dynasty than the Heat? Yes. Warriors made it to 5 straight NBA Finals. Heat only made it to 4, and we're only together for 4 years. And the Warriors had the best record of all time in one regular season. Heat did have that impressive win streak, yes. But I think Golden State was a better dynasty and the better team. I think if you put both teams against each other, like at their best, the 2017 Warriors versus the, let's say, which was their peak? 2012 Heat, I think the Warriors win. What else do we have here? Someone asked, oh yeah, Goran Dragic. That's another interesting. I don't know if they could afford a Goran Dragic, but I think that's an interesting. I'm looking at Goran Dragic right now for the LA Lakers. I think that'd be a very, very interesting match in pairing, as they would probably need a point guard after they trade away Lonzo Ball. And James Shepard asked, wasn't Swaggy P on the Warriors? Yeah, he was last year, but then they waived him, and he's just been sitting on the bench of his couch right? Just been sitting on his couch and no one wanted him. I thought they could have used him in this series because you saw at times how they needed something. George Mesa said maybe trade Lowry for a first-round pick. Yeah, I'd have to do something like that. Like, I just think if you just hold on to Kyle Lowry, and let me look up how old Kyle Lowry is at this point. He's like 32, I believe. Kyle Lowry. Yeah, he's 33. He's going to be turning 34 next season. Yeah, like, just get ahead of the game. Get him out of there before it becomes a problem. Trust me, dog. You need to be forward-thinking on this. Gary Sanderson says, thoughts on Kyrie Irving going to the Nets? It's interesting, you know, Kyrie, we always want to know what Kyrie wants in life. Like, no one understands these NBA players anymore. Like, we used to. Like, some of them wanted money, or some of them wanted, you know, to play for a championship team. Now we don't know what they want. It's not even that they want to go to, like, LA or anymore. They just want to go wherever they want to go. So Kyrie's like, the Brooklyn Nets. And we're like, okay. Kyrie Irving, if you cannot lead Gordon Hayward, Jaylen Brown, and Jason Tatum, and Terry Rozier, and Marcus Morris, and Al Horford to a title, how are you going to lead the Brooklyn Nets, who have an okay roster? I like Jared Allen. Spencer Dinwiddie's a good scorer as well. But you're going to leave them in the East? Because guess what, people? The East is the new West. Okay, with now the Sixers on the come up. And I want to say one thing real quick about the Sixers. I'll just interject with this note. Can you imagine, people, we were a couple bounces away from the Sixers taking out these NBA champions. Look at how those bounces on the rim, those Kawhi Leonard bounces now change history. Because if that does not happen, and let's assume the Sixers take him out in overtime, then we have Sixers versus Bucks. Personally, I think the Bucks win that series. I think we get Bucks versus Warriors. Who wins that series? Does Giannis choke in the NBA Finals? Maybe the Warriors win again and we're not having these narratives. It's just very interesting. We're just a couple of bounces away. But again, the thing is, people need to understand, there was the Raptors before the Sixers series, before and during the Sixers series, and the Raptors after. And specifically after that Game 2 of the Eastern Conference Finals. And those were two different teams. One team was right here, other team was right here. And this team is the team that won the NBA championship ultimately. But that's crazy. And that's why I say the Philadelphia 76ers need to just calm down. Everyone that's saying, oh, time to trade Ben Simmons, time to trade Joel. You don't trade nobody. You run this again. You say, let's do this again. All right, we lost. We got to, you know, we came up short. Let's run it again, and let's see what happens. Because I give you guys a good shot in the East next year. Milwaukee Bucks are losing people. Eric Bledsoe. I think Eric Bledsoe actually is still under contract. But Malcolm Brogdon, I know he's an upcoming free agent. Brook Lopez, Chris Middleton. They're losing folks. You look at the Toronto Raptors, probably losing Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard's probably going out west. Look at the Eastern Conference. It's Philadelphia's to win. It's Philadelphia's to win. And then in the West, I think you're most likely looking at Golden State right now. And you guys can compete with Golden State. I'll say that. Now, you're going to have to prove some things, just as the Toronto Raptors proved some things in this series. But I look out for the Philadelphia 76ers next season. They're obviously right now the best in the East. Now we have to see what the Celtics look like without Kyrie Irving, because we saw without Kyrie Irving, they were a great team the year before. But I think the Sixers could be able to beat the Boston Celtics next year. I don't think that's going to be a big problem unless the Celtics make a big move. So we're going to see a lot of things in this upcoming free agency period. It's going to be very fun and very interesting to watch. So thank you all for joining me for this post-game analysis of Game 6 of the 2019 NBA Finals as the Toronto Raptors defeat the Golden State Warriors 114-110. I hope you guys enjoyed these post-game recaps. I'll be doing this for the NFL as well, for Titans games, Sunday night football games, and hopefully Monday and Thursday night football games. It just depends how free I am on those nights. But sometimes there's been an audio delay, but I realize now how to fix it. I just have to close out everything except for my streaming service. When I do that, things go well. So until next time, this has been MJ of Sports Fan Entertainment. Let's move on to the NBA draft, man. It's just so quick, man, these NBA off seasons.